Welcome. Welcome, everyone, to the Radio Toons podcast. How's it going?
It's going good, man.
I'm Steve.
I'm Ernie.
You know what, Ernie? I'm real sick and tired of all the negativity on this podcast, okay?
Why? It's good. People like negativity.
I
People
thought
thrive on negativity.
I actually thought you were going to say, it's all you.
No, I could be negative, dude. It's the give and take.
No, okay. Maybe I shouldn't start off with this. I just want to say real quick that we know that the Mega Man 11 demo exists.
Yes.
And we know that the Messenger exists.
Yes.
Which are two things that we're very interested in. We just haven't gotten time to get to it yet.
I 2 weeks ago, I was moving, which is why we had a break in the Play Tunes.
Right.
And also this week I'm just putting things in my house.
Right.
So it's pretty chaotic right now, but we're gonna do it.
You're getting cushy in there.
Yeah, it's a good thing. I want to shout out Dead Cell again because that I've been playing like crazy.
Okay. Cool.
Because that you could just pick up, play for a second, and then put it down. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
good game.
Okay. I said I don't like all the negativity because I was going to talk about Iron Fist today.
Season
2, and I feel like everyone hates Iron Fist, and I understand with good reason.
Right?
The first season was not very good.
Yeah, it was one of the first podcasts. I think that was one of the first ones we talked about on the podcast. Right? It was Daredevil and then Iron Fist.
We did the Defenders. I know we did one of those.
You're right.
And I don't know if I would necessarily recommend Iron Fist Season 1, okay? But I just finished Iron Fist Season 2. It just came out last Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And I was extremely pleased with it.
Pleased? Or
I was extremely pleased with it, yeah. I thought it exceeded my expectations, first of all.
Were your expectations low?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's Iron Fist. I like Season 1 was kind of like whatever, but I still watched it. And, You know how when your expectations are that low, you enjoy something a little bit more because it's like...
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, so going into Season 2, I had that same mentality where I was like, you know what, I don't know if these guys have their footing yet or if they even know where they're going with this show, because Season 1, that was probably its biggest problem, was it looked like it was going in a bunch of different directions and they didn't really have like a focus, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but I remember when we were like, watch The Defenders, and I was like... Okay, but I was like, do I need to watch Iron Fist? And you're like, no, you really don't.
Because even The Defenders, too, was a little bit, like, sloppy, I guess. It didn't really have,
It was a mishmash. I think it's the best thing you could say about it.
I understand it's hard to do that, you know? Like, Avengers got it right, but that probably took, like...
Took forever.
Fucking forever, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I'm not saying it's easy to do. But Season 2 definitely has more focus, I would say. Because... It's just like, you know, any sequel in the Marvel Universe is basically like the origin story is pretty much out of the way.
Okay.
Now you get to see your boy use his powers to like the maximum extent.
Well, like I was before we started, like Steven watched the entire second season, but all I've
right
watched
now this one night.
No, this last few weeks. I don't know how long has it been out. Like 2-3 weeks.
Oh, I just said last Friday. So
Friday?
I watched it all in about like 4 days. It was pretty fast.
And I basically just watched the trailer, and then I watched the trailer to
Season 2.
Season 2. And what I gained from it was like the first season, I didn't watch it, so I can only speculate, but the first season seemed like this is me coming back and taking over my dad's company, right? So it was a lot of him coming back to clean up New York, and they kind of alluded to his past. But in this one, it seems like it's all about his past coming back to haunt him.
Yeah, there is a lot of like flashbacks, which I really enjoyed. Because I was telling my friend this too, is like Daredevil, for instance. It's a great show, obviously. Best Marvel show. But when they finally revealed that suit for Daredevil, they were all in. Like, that suit looks like fucking budget, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that thing looks clean. It looks like a fucking great suit, right?
Right.
Iron Fist and Luke Cage have like, I feel like they're afraid of the suit. You know, like they won't go the suit because they don't have enough maybe budget.
Luke Cage doesn't really have a suit.
Luke Cage in the comic books has like steel gauntlets.
Yeah, but
and he has like a chain
belt.
He has he has like steel bracelets.
Yeah,
And he has a yellow shirt with jeans.
And he has a chain that he wears like a belt.
Yeah.
I know that one. But it's not so much that it's not like a suit.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Jessica Jones.
Okay.
Has like pink hair. And she would wear like this weird like blue and white thing in the comic books.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is that like the other Defenders don't have real suits, and that always felt odd to me. In Iron Fist, he doesn't. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's like in the flashbacks you get to see the Iron Fist suit. Right. So you get to see him with the cowl that has the bandana and it has like which is badass to me. Just because I'm like,
well, because it's part of from what the trailer shows, it's part of a ceremony.
Yeah, and it's like it looks a little bit cheesy, but to me, I'm like, whatever. At least they're trying it, you know. Like that's what I want to see. I don't watch a fucking Marvel show to see like completely realistic scenarios.
No, of course not. Yeah, but like, here's the thing, right? Here's the difference between the suits, right? And let's not get too far into this because I really want to hear what you have to say about season 2. Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Iron Fist. Their suits serve no purpose. Okay. They're just suits. Okay. Daredevil's he actually needs because he's not a superhero.
Because it's like armor?
Because it's like armor, and he needs the protection. Jessica Jones is kind of invulnerable. Luke Cage is definitely invulnerable. And Iron Fist has an Iron Fist magic punch thing. Daredevil just can hear shit. Right. So he needs the suit. It's very... Not to like... compare it to a DC thing, but it's very much like Batman. He needs the suit to protect himself because he doesn't have powers.
No, I get what you mean. And so Luke Cage and Jessica Jones don't even have what is that called? They don't have like aliases or alter egos either. They're just
hey, I'm
like,
Luke Cage.
Yeah, like Luke Cage is just like, I'm here, everybody knows me, and that's basically the premise of his show. Actually, is that he's in season 2, he's dealing with like the fame or like whatever comes with like people knowing who he is now.
They're always trying to hit him and stuff.
Yeah, which is pretty interesting. But what I was going to say was, I mean, I don't want to sound like a hypocrite, but I remember I did bash the Daredevil suit at first because I got so used to just seeing him in that black. Yeah. Like whatever, like black.
But see how it evolved? Like it was just the black cowl and everything.
Yeah.
And then he's like, dude, I need some sort of protection because I'm going to get fucked up. Yeah. And then that's how it evolved.
Right. Okay. So anyway, you get a glimpse of the suit from back then or whatever. Right. And you actually get a lot more flashbacks of Danny Rand and his brother, quote unquote, that he calls his brother.
Right. But it was just the people in the clan.
Yeah, I think, or something like that.
It's like a Sub-Zero scorpion thing.
Yeah. He's part of the Lin Kuei. It sounds. It's something like that where they're like a clan of people. Yeah. But. You meet his friend Davos again. Davos is the actor that plays him is so good. I really liked how he played him. He played the villain extremely well.
Spoiler alert: he's the villain.
Oh, sorry.
Everybody.
Yeah.
No, it's shitty. If you've watched the trailer, you know that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was actually surprised that because we just watched the trailer.
Right, because Steven hadn't seen it.
They reveal a shitload, dude.
Yeah, they do.
I was like, man, are you serious? Like.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in the show, I would say you could skip season 1. Okay. You might be a little bit lost on like who the characters are, but they do have like a recap on Netflix. Okay. So you can try and watch that if you want. See if it helps. But season 2 is mostly about Iron Fist and Colleen and Davos, which is like the main crew. Right.
Plus you meet Danny and them mostly in the Defenders, don't you? Like they all except for Davos. You meet them in the Defenders.
Yeah, but what I mean is, like, in Iron Fist Season 1, a lot of it was him coming back to the company, and there was a lot of company people in it. Sure. So you met, like, Joy Meacham and Wade Meacham, which were, like, his adopted family or some shit. I forgot, actually. All this stuff that, you know, has to do with business, which is kind of why I thought the show fell flat a little bit, you know?
Right. And this one is more about his actual origins.
Yeah, this one has, like, he never enters that fucking building this whole season.
He doesn't need to.
Yeah, which is why I was like, this is fucking great. Like, this is awesome.
Because from the trailer, it looks like he's taking over what Daredevil left. Because, you know, I mean, spoilers, I guess. But
for the Defenders?
For the Defenders.
If you haven't seen the Defenders...
Fuck off. Just you close your ears for a second. Like, it's revealed that, like...
Close them tight.
To everybody else, Daredevil is dead, along with Elektra. And so there is nobody to defend Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, that's actually how season 2 of Luke Cage starts too. Yeah, he's he's basically saying like, oh, we're doing this for Daredevil, or like, because of Matt, because Matt's gone, like we gotta take over.
Because Luke Cage was Harlem. He was taking care of Harlem. Now he's like, Hell's Kitchen doesn't have its defenders, so it looks like Danny Rand's just over there kicking some ass and being like, I'm just trying to keep the peace.
Oh man, by the way, there's one episode in season 2 of Luke Cage where Danny shows up, and it's awesome. I love that.
Is there Heroes for Hire?
Yes, dude. Honestly, I think Danny Rand and Luke Cage make a great duo. Those two actors.
That's why they put their colors so close together.
Yeah, like they go down and they break up some drug ring thing, right? Mm-hmm. And it's just cool how they fight, because they do like they
do exactly what they did in the Defenders. I bet Luke Cage absorbs all the bullets, and then Danny Rand like punches the ground and shockwaves everybody.
No, there's a point where Luke Cage looks at Iron Fist and he's like, light it up, and he lights up his fist and he punches Luke Cage's palm, and it creates like a sound wave and it knocks everybody out.
Are you serious? Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah, there's just so many cool moments, because I'm like, dude, both of them, yes.
Heroes for Hire, dude.
They're both badass. I like that. Yeah. And I was honestly like, okay, I won't spoil Iron Fist season 2, but there's a lot of cool moments, besides no tag teaming up or anything like that. Misty Knight shows up.
Okay. Because
if you know anything about Iron Fist, Colleen Wing and Misty Knight are Daughters of the Dragon. Right. Which is like their own comic book thing, so, and Misty Knight has that new arm. If you didn't know, in Defenders,
yeah,
she got her arm cut off. Yeah, so she has a new badass arm.
I thought she was actually, when they cut off her arm, I was like, she is dead. Because she's gonna bleed. I thought she was gonna bleed out and die.
No, in the comic books, actually, she has a crazy ass arm like that. So yeah,
she hooked up with the U.S. government. They gave her an arm.
It's actually
Bucky.
No, it was Rand Corp. It was Danny's company. Yeah.
No, I gotcha. Probably says Stark Industries across the bottom.
Surprisingly enough, they make little references to the cinematic universe. It's like the TV shows are almost like their own thing.
Well, this is for sure, because remember, at this point, nobody's seen Infinity War. The snap hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I don't know what the timeline is as far as like.
All this is taking place before the snap. That's for damn sure.
For the snap.
For the snap.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
One last thing I wanted to say too was like they pull a lot of things from Iron Fist comic books. Mm-hmm. There's one thing in particular that will look pretty fucking stupid if you don't know anything about Iron Fist comics.
Okay.
I won't say what it is.
Is it the slippers?
No.
Okay.
See, okay, yeah. I've always disliked his slippers, but
why? He's got to have the slippers, man.
If they made like an Iron Fist costume that like had boots, I think people would be like, "Cool, what slippers?"
Sweet.
Like, I don't know, but I'm not a hardcore Iron Fist fan. I love this show, but I don't know much about the comic books. Actually, I had to look up some stuff just to see where they drew inspiration from.
Sure.
Like, there's this whole like, there's kind of like this ceremony thing that happens,
right?
In which you can gain the powers of an Iron Fist,
right? And
I was like, are they just making shit up?
Probably not.
That's what I said, because the way they describe the way the ceremony happens and the conditions, the prerequisites, the requirements for like
seems really involved, doesn't it?
Yeah, it seemed all very like I assume no one just made that shit up for this show, basically, right? So I don't know. But I would recommend checking out Iron Fist Season 2. It's definitely action-packed. Right. It's got a lot of cool moments. I mean...
Lots of greens and yellows?
Yeah. Keep in mind that it's still a TV show, so the budget on the CG is not amazing.
Uh-oh.
But...
please tell me they don't reveal that dragon. Just tell me that.
Well... I think I said this when I reviewed Iron Fist before, is that... Iron Fist is a show that would greatly benefit from CG and a movie budget, and it doesn't have it. It has a TV budget.
Right, so they gotta be settled.
Yeah, because it's like, how are you gonna make Kunlun? How are you gonna make Shao Lao the dragon that he fights? You know,
right?
How are you gonna make his hands light up and stuff? Like, because in the comic books, or at least in Marvel's Capcom 3, his hands and feet glow different colors depending on what he's doing.
Right.
how do you do that and not make it look stupid as fuck in real life? You know, like
you make it super subtle, but it didn't look like they did.
I mean, like yeah, like the Iron Fist right now is pretty subtle. It's just kind of like his hand, like looks like he's holding like some kind of glow stick or something. It's not like a really.
I mean, to be honest, I would have done it even subtler and been like, oh, like you see how he has the tattoo? I would have made the Power Fist thing apart, like a tattoo that on his hand that glows.
Nah, I don't like that.
Because like it would like the tattoo that would be on his hand would change depending on what he was doing.
Okay.
And then that would like glow subtly, and then he was like, "Ooh, punch," you know. But you know,
here's the last thing.
Nobody listens to me.
Here's the last thing I'll say about Iron Fist. If you did manage to watch season 1, or maybe you watched half of it, or maybe you only watched because of Jessica Henwick, aka Colleen Wing, because she's a babe.
Wink, wink.
She's great in this season because she gets a lot more like time to fight.
Right. Well, so you said she's fighting somebody from the clan, right?
Yeah. So she does a lot of shit, and they reveal like more of her backstory and stuff, and it's really interesting. So I would say if you're a fan of her, definitely check out the show. It's worth it just for her parts because I'm not saying like she's the main character.
She's cool.
But this season was definitely like a time for her to shine. Is what I'm trying to say.
Well, that's great to hear.
Yeah, that's cool. It's really badass. I'm really liking it. Almost to the point where I was like, maybe I'll pick up some Iron Fist comics. But nah,
you're not gonna do that.
I don't know about that. I can't read, so it might be hard.
By the way, just a thought.
Okay.
There is a comic book subscription thing that you can look at. Give you like a month worth like a subscription.
Okay. What's that?
You can just look through all the comics they have in the archive.
I was looking around and there's like a site that you could do that for free. Actually, you could just read shit online. But I don't know.
You want to hear something weird?
What?
Completely out of context and not to do with this. I heard that they had a Darkwing Duck comic.
Okay.
From way back in the day, where they talked about they did basically a Dark Knight Returns, but for Darkwing Duck, and I read that whole thing.
Okay.
On that site, just page for page like that. I was like, and I was really disappointed because the way they described it was way better than what the comic presented. Because the comic presented this like really dour down, Darkwing Duck, and then he like rises from the ashes to become Darkwing Duck again. But the comic was all goofy and like nutty, and I was like, oh right, this is.
Disney,
right, I guess yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, but it was cool. I read the whole thing, and I was able to read a lot of different stuff on there, like. Before I had the money to get...
you're telling me Darkwing Duck didn't have to deal with 2 boats. Is that what you're telling me right now?
Yes, he didn't have to deal with 2 boats. He didn't have to deal with stupid... what's it called? Harvey Dent?
Was his name Negaduck? The yellow one?
Yeah, Negaduck.
Did he say, you want to see a magic trick? And then he did put the guy's face in the pencil?
No, Negaduck doesn't really talk that much.
He says, gone. He says, gone. I'm the Joker. Haha. No?
No, he didn't do any of that.
All right. I mean, fair enough.
Anyway, since we were talking about season 2, apparently at the end of season 2, there's a teaser for Daredevil season 3.
There is.
Now, a couple different things in the trailer. If you haven't watched it, takes 2 seconds. Go watch it.
It's a teaser.
Come back. Now, he is sitting in a confessional.
He's alive, first of all.
He's alive.
What the fuck? Yeah.
And he is bleeding profusely.
He
is in his old suit.
Yeah,
which means his either he got nude or dumped his suit, so people think he'd be dead. Like that's my take of it. Like you leave the suit somewhere, so it makes it look like you're dead. Right. But then he's talking to a priest.
That's a funny image.
He's talking to a priest, and what's crazy is that in Daredevil season 1, he talks to a priest for a long time who knows he's Daredevil. Right, because he knows what he can do. But in this one, he's not talking to somebody who knows him because he would call him by his name. Like father, whatever. And then he starts talking about how, I want to fight as the devil. I'd rather die as the devil than die as Matt Murdock.
Than live as Matt Murdock.
Exactly. So he's on a suicide mission. But if Fisk is put away, if Elektra is gone, as to what I know, what the hell is worth dying for in the Daredevil universe?
I would assume Elektra's alive, right?
Why would you assume that?
Because they brought her back to life like 3 times or something.
Yeah,
right?
well, she's dumb, but like, he's fighting something. So is he fighting Elektra?
Well, that's what's interesting is that they're doing Daredevil season 3 and not Defender season 2. You know, so it's like he's alive and it's his show. Mm-hmm. We're following, like, the show's called Daredevil, but it sounds like he's going to be a villain. You know? And, like, I don't know what happened. So, like, did he die and the hand brought him back to life? Or is this a case of, like, he died and maybe Elektra died and now he has no will to live?
I think it's either what you said where he's still fighting Elektra.
Uh-huh.
Because the hand is basically gone. Because it died with Elektra. Like, the whole... Remember, the only one that made it out was the lady.
Wait, what did you say right now?
The hand is basically gone.
Okay, yeah, but...
Because all of them died except for the lady, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Madame Gao, I think, got out.
She got out.
She put her arms up. She flew out the hole. She went, peace. She flew out the hole.
You guys can't understand how weird it is to hear Steve say things like that and watch his face, like, not crack, but he's, like, totally cracking. Yes, she took off, but other than that, the rest of the hand was killed and off, and, like, they're all dead and blah, blah, blah. Uh-huh. So, I really doubt he's just fighting her.
No. I think she died, and he's just like, fuck my life, fuck everything. And maybe the remaining hand members got him, or somebody got him. And then the other theory is that he actually did die, and they used that juice to bring him back or whatever. But
if they used that juice to bring him back, he would have come back without a soul.
Yeah. And okay, you actually learned this from Iron Fist Season 1. So spoilers for Iron Fist Season 1. The hand, when they bring somebody back from the dead or whatever, they say that you come back less and less human.
Right.
Every time you come back.
Yeah.
Because there's a certain character in Season 1 that constantly dies. But... it's like once you have that shit flowing through you or whatever, you don't die or something.
But every time you die, you come back less human.
Yeah, because by the end, the guy that comes back is like basically insane, and they're trying. They can't make sense of it, obviously, so they're trying to like reason with him, and he's just a lunatic at that point.
Right? Isn't that the guy that they end up having to chop into like pieces and keep in boxes?
I don't know about that.
There is a villain in that universe that they literally chop up into pieces and keep him kind of like, you know how like if you were to form a body out of boxes, that's how they keep him dead.
So he's Exodia, is what you're saying.
Exactly. So put him back together, he heals and then he comes back. Yeah, but I think it's funny. Anyway, I think it's either like he's on some sort of grandiose mission to kill something, and he doesn't feel like he's going to be able to do that if he's Matt Murdock.
By the way, I love that about Daredevil. In the show, how he confesses to the priest, like, knowing that he can't say shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's so cool. That show's themed so well. Like,
it really is.
Around, like, the devil and, like, how he's blind and just...
Don't you think it's such a nice juxtaposition that's the same relationship you have with a lawyer? When you tell your lawyer something, they can't say shit.
Yeah,
you could say,
true.
I did it.
Yeah.
And if you tell them to, they're like, you can't say shit about it. Mm-hmm. And he does the same thing with the priest. He tells him all these different sins, and he's like, "You can't say anything about it."
Yeah, he knows confidentiality basically. He knows where he can.
But from a religious standpoint, which is kind of crazy.
Fuck, dude. Daredevil season 1 and 2 are so great. Like, really fucking great shows.
So, the only thing I took from that is that either it takes place immediately after the events of the Defenders, or it's some sort of offshoot because. If he's wearing his old suit, it might be... I wonder if it's a prequel that explains something before...
Luke Cage Season 2 and Iron Fist Season 2 both happen after Defenders.
Because you said they made references
directly after, though.
To Defenders.
There's like, yeah.
They're like, we're doing this for Matt.
Yeah.
For exactly. Matt! You know?
Exactly, just like that. But yeah, so I'm pretty interested... and seeing what the fuck they're going to do and if they're going to be able to top Season 2, because Season 2 was ridiculous to me. Mm-hmm. Season 2 was probably the best. I think it was better than Season 1.
Yeah.
I know that sounds stupid, but, whatever.
The only thing that's come close to it, to me, has been Punisher.
Punisher was fucking great. Yeah, I was really surprised with Punisher. It's crazy, too, because I tell people about Punisher.
Yeah.
And they, like, forget it exists. And I'm like, the
guy who played Punisher, at first when I saw him, I was like, this is the stupidest looking Punisher version. Yeah. But then you realize like how much pushes through his acting, and you're like, good lord. I can't imagine anybody else being Punisher now.
He does a great job, dude.
Yeah.
That they picked a really good Punisher. But anyway, So that we're on the topic of Marvel, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's been talking about this new Spider-Man game that's come out.
Spider-Man 2018.
Yeah, Marvel Spider-Man.
2018.
We're actually playing it on the show, if you guys want to check it out. But from what you've played, Ernie, what do you think of it?
So, I think it's literally a clone of two different games. It's Assassin's Creed. We've talked about it on the show.
Yeah, one of them's going to be Arkham. You're going to say
Arkham City. Specifically Arkham City.
Okay.
And Assassin's Creed, because Assassin's Creed has like certain rules that you have to obey. So it's like you can't kill regular citizens, or you desync in that game. So there's a penalty for doing certain things.
Is that really what happens?
Yeah, you desync. He's like, they alluded to, you're misremembering this memory.
Oh, okay.
You didn't. He wouldn't. Altair would never kill anybody.
That's funny.
It's kind of like Prince of Persia, which I think is funny. And then the other one is like, the reason I think it's like that is, first of all, it has, from Assassin's Creed, it has that, because you're not allowed to like punch or kick or harm New Yorkers.
Okay.
You just do the finger guns at them.
Yeah. Which is actually something I don't really like.
Well, it's because it's been Spider-Man 3.
No, I don't.
No, that's really what it is.
I don't give a shit. I think it's stupid.
Anyway, it takes that from it, plus it has the whole tower thing. Like in Assassin's Creed, you expand your visuals of the map and what you can do by activating these eagle towers, right? Yeah. And Spider-Man does the same thing, where he goes to activate these Osborn towers, and they relay to his suit crimes and locations of backpacks and all that.
To be fair, a lot of games do that now. Even Breath of the Wild had the...
Of course they do.
What are they called?
Which is why I call them Assassin's Creed towers.
No, Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, the Sheik Towers.
Yeah, Sheik Towers. There you go.
But and when we were playing that, I was like, oh, look, it's an Assassin's Creed tower, because that's what it is.
I get it, yeah.
But the other thing it takes from Arkham City is the Riddler trophies are now backpacks, right? Because each one of them gives you a little clue into Peter Parker's,
I found out what those do, by the way.
What?
So they're not just little, like, nods or calls to the comic books. Mm-hmm. So if you get enough of those, they're currency. They're when you
you buy the suits with them?
Yeah, so the suit will take like a crime token and it'll take a backpack token.
Oh boy!
So it's just different kinds of currency.
Okay.
Because I was playing by myself, and I noticed for some reason I have one more costume than we do in the playthrough, even though I'm at the exact same spot.
Mm-hmm. But you've been getting all the backpacks.
No, I have less actually. So I was really surprised. But for whatever reason, you know what I think it is? It's because I died more during my playthrough.
So you had to keep doing stuff over.
Maybe I have more like combo achievements or something stupid.
Oh, okay. All right.
Anyway, I got Scarlet Spider, which looks badass.
The sweater and the blue suit? That's cool.
That was always my favorite Spider-Man. I remember Ernie had a Scarlet Spider like card, because we used to collect we used to have Marvel trading cards when we were kids.
And what do you mean had?
Oh yeah,
I still have them.
Yeah, there's somewhere around here. I don't know where the fuck Scarlet Spider is from. I don't know anything about him.
He's from an alternate universe.
But he looks dope as fuck. I always
loved his costume.
Yeah, he looks
simple.
Really, I will say though, in this game they kind of made it look more. You know how the Scarlet Spider obviously looks kind of like everything spray painted. Mm-hmm. This one, like the mask looks like a real cowl, kind of like how the Homecoming suit looks.
Yeah.
Where like the eyes are like real, like. What am I trying to say? Like plasticky, like glass that he looks through or whatever. The only thing that looks like how it should is a sweater. The sweater and like the little like knobs or whatever he has, the little bracelet things that he has on his.
Right.
The suit itself doesn't look as like just like a pajama. It looks more like robotic or whatever, which is kind of whatever. But I don't care. I have to assume there's a Venom suit, right?
There is a black Spider.
There has to be one because.
There's the ones that I've seen. There's like the Infinity War suit is in there.
Yeah, I would hope so.
There's a Rock and Roll Spider one where he wears like a jean jacket and he has like spikes on his head and stuff. I've seen that one.
Is Spider-Gwen in there?
I don't know.
I would hope so.
It would kind of change the game, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean, just the style of the suit.
But doesn't the suit like play right into the?
He doesn't have to grow boobs.
No, what I'm saying is like, doesn't the suit go right into the cutscenes, like they're not pre-rendered; they get played out.
Yeah, what about it?
So that means whatever suit you're wearing gets played through the thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's fun. I don't know. Either way, it's like I haven't seen it.
I'm sure that's gonna happen with some suit down the line.
Sure.
That always seems to happen where it's like
that suit.
They didn't play every fucking cutscene with every single suit, you know?
Yeah, it's literally rendered with the guys. You know how I know that?
How?
There's been a lot of YouTube's lists right now with like his like look at all the glitches in Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
And it's a lot of things of him like falling through buildings, infinitely rolling over water. Okay. You know, he does like this flip where he jumps off a tall building, and if you dive, he starts rolling. But like some glitch happened where he'll just like instead of hitting the water, he keeps rolling on it. So you get like this infinite like run or whatever, or like this infinite spin. And then there was one where this is what tells me they're all pre-rendered. He was kicking Kingpin's ass.
They're not pre-rendered, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they're not pre-rendered. He was kicking Kingpin's ass, but they were near like he kicked him into a pole, like into a pillar, and it went into the next cutscene. But like he's supposed to take this stance of like screaming at him, but his arms were all to one side and his legs were all the way to the other, and he was just stuck in this screaming pose like this, and he was just like that. And then Peter, he was supposed to land like and get up and say, I was about to say the same thing about you, but he's like upside down and like this, and then it like snaps back into it. You know what I mean? So it's like they're taking the model from the game and then like placing it in certain spots.
Yeah, I did see a streamer. I'm not sure if it's real, but the intro to the game, I guess, is in-game graphics as well. Mm-hmm. Because they were when he puts the suit on, for some reason he looked like he was like a human pretzel. And he was just like floating.
Oh my gosh, it's funny.
Yeah, and so he was basically just imagine the intro with him as like a human pretzel floating around instead of actually like picking up his suit or getting the toast or whatever the fuck he does.
He got the toast, you know.
That was pretty fucking funny.
So I mean, I like this the swinging and all the kind of stuff that they opened up right now is very like. It's like, okay, this is what I'm going to have to do to get points. And, like, you and me were on a rooftop and we were beating, like, wave after wave of bad guys. And I was like, you know, I can see how this is going to expand and get better.
That sucks.
And I'm like, well, I enjoyed the fights in Arkham City.
Those are called...
Because like, you could activate them to, like, practice fighting.
That's another currency, by the way.
Yeah. You said they were crime tokens and what else?
These Kingpin, like...
Towers?
Things, yeah. They give you what's called base tokens. So I guess they're bases. They're like boss bases or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
They give you base tokens. So that's another form of currency that you have to use, which I'm not really a fan of. That's pretty much my gripe with this entire game is that I think it's okay because it doesn't really do anything outstanding or spectacular.
Not so far. Oh my gosh, Steven. Are you saying it doesn't do anything amazing?
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Because... it basically just rips shit from other games that you've seen before. These are all basically tired concepts, and I don't really think it does anything super well. The only draw is the Marvel stuff. Like
we can see Stark Tower in there.
Yeah, you could see. You can go to the Avengers Tower, and you can apparently go to the London Temple of what is it called?
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange is like.
You know what I found out too?
Not London. Was it fucking?
New York.
New York, that's where they are.
Jeez, that was weird, Steve. You can find Alias Investigations in Hell's Kitchen.
You serious?
You can go see it.
I want to go see that.
Let's go. Find it.
Let's go now.
Let's go right now, Steve.
Yeah,
all right, let's go.
Yeah.
No, okay. But it's a lot of Easter eggs in there. But
that's basically what's keeping it alive for me. Because
what I had a problem with right off the bat was how easy it is to swing. Now I know that sounds like a stupid gripe, but. Like, in Batman Arkham City, it was... You could... If you timed it right, you could keep yourself in the air all the time. But you had to know how to fly and how to, like, swoop and where to attach yourself on buildings and all of that. So, like, it became a skill to be able to do that, even going so far as to they had, like, these little AR, like, alternate... artificial realities where you could go through hoops and then earn more points, right?
Yeah.
So they turned it into a game of skill. It's like, if you can do this... Good for you. Let's add more weapons to your roster for doing that. But in this one, it's just like if you hold down R2, you can swing forever. You know, even if you come to like there was a certain part where we got to like we were over Central Park. We were just like, I was like, what is he holding on to? But he was just he kept going. I was like, oh, okay.
No, I do understand. Like, I understand when you say that it takes like no skill to do basically, and it's not as satisfying as if you did have to do something.
Yeah.
Some kind of effort.
Because wouldn't it be dope to feel like, oh man, I'm like Tony Hawk. I'm like grinding the top of buildings, and like I'm so cool that I can make it across the entire city without ever touching the ground.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you could make it so that a more skilled player would get somewhere faster.
Yeah, that's kind of the draw. I wish there was some sort of curve to learning how to spider sling.
That's basically the whole game. Is that like even with like because my gripe was more with the combat. I think the combat fucking is terrible. Well, and like it's got a lot of that like let me put it this way. Like at one point, I get it. You're looking after the player. Like, oh, we don't trust them enough to have like their own targeting system, right? So they just go to the person nearest to them. I get that. Whatever. But at a certain point, isn't that just lazy developing? You know, like
I don't know, man.
It almost makes me think like you guys couldn't find a better solution than to just do it for them. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, I understand.
You couldn't make the game intuitive enough for people to learn without reading prompts every 2 seconds. Right. You know, like that. I know that's kind of a nitpick, but it's just I don't know. Like that's what makes me not want to play like these stupid bases where you have to constantly go through a gauntlet of enemies or like I'm like there's nothing satisfying about the combat. It's like especially when there's stupid gun fucking people involved.
Right.
Because they put this target on you or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Your spider sense goes off, you have to dodge. There's nothing else you can do. You have to dodge. Whereas like if this was Devil May Cry or Bayonetta, I could move the fuck away. I could hit the enemy into the sky and like jump up there because jumping has invincibility frames and all this stuff. There's multiple ways to get out of there, you know? This is just like
when this happens, you do
if your spider sense is on, you need to move. That's it. So it's basically telling me every single time that happens, I need to press B. So it's like, is this a fucking rhythm game or like, is this some kind of cool fighting game that I like? I don't know. I don't know if I have a point there, but it just.
No, I understand that you don't feel that the fighting mechanics are all that advanced, and to be honest, they aren't. They really aren't. Like the draw of Batman Arkham City. The fighting is fun to me in Arkham City because that is just enough. Like that fighting style is just enough to get me from point A to point B, right? They don't have like these 100-man fights or anything in Arkham City. It's like at the most 6 characters, right? And it gets you to the next part.
Okay.
And the real draw of Batman is like all these different puzzles you have to solve, all the gadgetry that you get, because that's part of his draw. That's what Batman is.
Yeah, and
it's like he has cool gadgets. He's a detective, and he beats people up.
Right.
That's kind of his thing, right?
Yeah.
Spider-Man, on the other hand, like he does do that stuff, but he does it. He has powers, so it's a lot easier for him.
Don't even get me started on all that fucking lab shit, dude.
Like the lab stuff was, we were playing, and I was like, this is kind of boring.
Yeah.
You know, because I was comparing it to BioShock on the
show. Yeah.
On the show. But on the show, there was a purpose to do that. When you did that,
in BioShock, you mean?
You got like in BioShock when you did that, you got a perk of now this turret is yours. You own this turret, right? And it works for you every time something happens in here. Great. In this one, you do it because it's like that leads you to the next part of the mission. Like in the part that we played was literally just we linked this up. Now let's continue on with the story. There was no perk to it. It wasn't an option.
Yeah, it was honestly built into the game, into the level design really well.
Yeah.
In BioShock. If they had somehow made it so that maybe Spider-Man hacks like Kingpin's turrets or something.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that would have worked. I don't know. But as they have it right now, it's like this optional thing. Mm-hmm. You could even skip them. Yeah. If you could turn on the ability to skip them. It's like, why did you put it in the game then? Yeah. Like, why are you, like, it just...
It's just something you have to do, but there's no incentive to do it other than to keep going forward.
It's just like that kind of, like they made it so that it could fail. Like, I'm not meeting people that are just like, man, Spider-Man, puzzles are my favorite part of that shit. Because, like, they're honestly not even that hard. No. They're just really irritating and tedious to, like, I don't know.
Like, we figured it out in 2 seconds on the show. It was not, it's not difficult.
I mean, granted, those were the first ones.
Yeah, and I'm sure they get a little more complicated with time, but at the same time, there's a purpose to do them, you know? In BioShock. Here, they're just kind of like part of the story elements. You have to do them to get further on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even in a game like The Witness that is all puzzles, the logic, the reason that you do them is to understand the logic of every puzzle, so that when you get to the middle tower, you understand what each puzzle is trying to tell you.
It's a whole other beast in itself. But what I was going to say is...
Well, just that snippet is what I'm telling you. It's like, that trains you for this.
Sure, yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But the game is all puzzles.
Yeah.
So that's what you're trained to do. This game, it's like, you have to do these puzzles sometimes. Does it help you get anything? Not really. It's just kind of going through the whatever. And it's like, it just furthers on the story. Do I think the climax of the game is going to be you solving a puzzle like that?
Right. No.
Hopefully not.
I think...
Because I didn't pick up Spider-Man to do puzzles.
I think it's hard to integrate something like that into the game. You know? Like, to be fair, it's not common that you see somebody use something like that as, like, I'll say masterfully as, like, BioShock. Because...
Well, here, I'll do it right now. Ready? Like, Peter can find different pieces that he can use to upgrade his stuff, right? Okay. And he's he finds different stuff and he puts it together and he's able to make all that stuff work. Because, like, right in the beginning of the game, you see all the trash he has in his room. And he's taking apart old computers to try to make things that he wants to work now. Okay. So what you do is, he's like, hey, I found some components. I bet you I can use these and blah, blah, blah. And you collect a certain amount of components. And then you go back to the house. And if you want, you can upgrade your own stuff by doing a little puzzle. And that's incentive for you to do the puzzle, but you don't necessarily have to do it.
Right.
That's a way better way of doing things, in my opinion.
Sure. The difference in BioShock being that since it's integrated into the actual gameplay, they had like tonics and stuff that would help you do that. You remember that? Yeah, they would help you hack.
They would slow down the water. They would give you more tiles.
And this one, that doesn't seem like there's going to be anything like that.
No.
It just seems like such an afterthought, you know? Like
it seems like when you have a story element, it's going to be like, remember what we had you do puzzles? Do them here.
Yeah, for one
Peter,
second. Yeah.
You need to hack this computer. Guess how you're going to do it? With water flowing through the thing.
Yeah, Aunt May's dying, so you're going to have to hack the IV.
Yeah, you're going to have to hack her life support to turn it off.
Yeah, the heart monitor, you're going to have to hack it, make her live again, bring her back to life. Thank you very much.
Just shoot her with some spider balls.
But I think the last gripe I would have is that the characters look fucking stupid. I think 90% of the humans look goofy as fuck and weird. I get it. It's trying to look realistic and all that. And sure. I know Sony's big on having like these cinematic, like realistic looking characters.
Right.
When I see Spider-Man comic books, I am never thinking, man, I really wish he looked realistic. The thing I love most about Spider-Man is how exaggerated he is. His eyes are huge. His feet could be huge. Yeah. The way he bends looks ridiculous. The poses that Spider-Man is put in are probably some of the most unique poses you'll ever see in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, you know, there's a lady that I follow on Twitter who draws Spidey poses all the time.
Yeah,
I think it's Gracie.
It's probably Grace Liu.
Yeah, Grace Liu.
Uh-huh.
Those are some of the most amazing poses, like the most action-packed poses I've seen. And she does such a good job. Uh-huh. And he has like really exaggerated features when she does it. And I'm like, that's exactly how I always want Spider-Man to feel.
Yeah.
He is so damn flexible, so damn like fast. Like he always feels fast and agile, you know what I mean? And like we were commenting on the show that he feels, even though he's all like he does these amazing flips and everything, why does he still feel stiff?
Yeah, it's just like contrasting ideas, I guess, you know, like I don't know.
Yeah.
That movie that's coming out though, Into the
Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse?
Yeah, I think, or Multiverse.
That looks cool.
It does really look cool.
And I'm hoping that they do a lot more like kind of like, what am I trying to say, like exaggerated features on this Spider-Man.
Yeah, for sure.
It looks really cool. I like the colors and stuff.
I like that Sony's taking a chance on it.
Yeah, me too. Like they're finally doing something good with the Spider-Man franchise that they have the rights to and stuff. You know. Like,
yeah, and like not to. And here's the thing. Like that's not my. I guess it is kind of like my last thoughts on the game because we obviously haven't finished it, but we're going through it. It is fun to play.
Yeah.
At this point right now, these are tiny little gripes that I'm still like. Even though I have those gripes, I'm still playing. And I still think there is stuff to discover and stuff to get to. I really hope this isn't the top of it. If that makes any sense, like this is the maximum amount of play I'm gonna get through it. You know, because like I've played other sandbox games that are like this is exactly like they lay it out in the first 10 minutes, and that's literally all you're gonna do the entire game.
You know, I was actually pretty. If I can rag on this game one more time.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry. It's just that I just think it's a little bit overrated right now. I'm not super blown away by it. Usually when I play a game, especially with like cinematic games, the intro is supposed to be like the best.
Right.
Like the intro is what gets you playing. The intro is usually what people talk about. You know, it's the first impression, the Spidey handshake, if you will. This
you
one
weren't blown away.
This one was like fighting the Kingpin amongst like these dudes in a building. I was like, I said it on the show. I got like maybe 5 minutes into the game, and I was like, I get it. I guess like if this is gonna be the game, then I'm pretty much done with it. But I have played more. I'm giving it a fair chance.
Okay.
Because like I said, the Marvel stuff is fun. I do like the things people are finding. Like the all the Easter eggs, all the little nods to the Marvel Universe. I
found out another one today too. It was when the rocket dudes.
Yeah.
When they launch a rocket at you, if you go into photo mode, you can actually look at the rocket, and it says on the side it has like warnings and everything, and then on the bottom it says guaranteed to kill spiders.
Really?
On the rockets, yeah.
That's funny.
It's fun. It's dumb and funny at the same time.
That's kind of cool. I guess it's like like the spanker in Halo. Remember that? It says spanker on the rockets. Yeah,
I remember that. But anyway, like it's like seriously, I'm having fun with it. I love Spider-Man. I want to get some more costumes. Like we saw one, it was Spider-Man Noir. I actually do like that series. He doesn't have any spider powers in that one, by the way, so it's very like more detective-y.
He does. He does have spider powers.
He doesn't have the web shooters.
No, they won't call for backup. There's weird fucking.
No, I'm talking about like the OG, the comic book of Spider-Man Noir.
I've never read that. I don't know what the fuck that is. Can he crawl?
No, he's just basically just a vigilante, I believe.
Really? He doesn't have spider powers?
No.
That's
why his like costume isn't really like a spider thing.
That's fucking stupid. Well, anyway,
it's like him back in the day.
Why is he even Spider-Man? Why is he Spider?
I don't know.
He's just man.
He's just a man.
Honestly, they all the suits have different powers, and so Scarlet Spider, the one I have on, creates holograms of him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. And that
I wonder what Spider-Man Noir does. Maybe he takes out a gun and shoots people.
I just told you actually. They don't call for backup.
Oh, neat.
So when you kill a wave of enemies, it ends or whatever. They don't.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, by the way.
What?
Another thing about Spider-Man game. So Steven and I were commenting on the fact that you're on top of a building and then you kick said bad guy off a building.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't die.
Yeah, they stick to the side of the building
for no reason.
I saw that actually. I noticed that because I was kicking people off because I was like, this is fun, right?
Right.
And then I noticed
it's a good way to kill them too, or like to get them out of there.
Yeah. They just stick to the side of the fucking thing.
Yeah.
And actually, I noticed that that's kind of like a
safety.
Well, I was gonna say not like a hacky way, I guess, but sticking them to the wall is an instant kill. So if you can do that to every enemy, you're good. Like you don't have to deal with that.
Hacksaws.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that's pretty much all I wanted to say about Spider-Man. I am enjoying it despite all of what I just said.
Yeah.
You know why? Because there's certain games that I play and I just cannot be relaxed. I have to focus the entire time that I'm playing.
Mm-hmm.
This game is like I'm kind of half asleep, just drooling, and I can play it because it's like it doesn't require that much brain power. So that's not even an install. That's honestly like the developers probably just wanted everybody to have fun with this game.
Yeah, it's a sandbox.
They were just like, you know what? This is just a celebration of Spider-Man. Yeah. This is this is us sharing our love for Spider-Man, everything Spider-Man, whatever.
It's great.
And in that regard, yeah, it's great. It's a really fun time. It's just if you're looking for something that's maybe more challenging or maybe has more depth, go somewhere else, because it's not really here.
Not really here. Wait for Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. That footage that I was talking about, by the way, it got taken down off of YouTube.
Oh, that's
Somebody re-uploaded it.
Re-upped?
Yeah, and I watched it again. It just got me more excited for the game.
Well, let's hope it stays that way, Steve.
Yeah.
What are your final thoughts on everything?
On everything in the world?
Let's see. Spider-Man. Okay, I'll run you down the list. Spider-Man.
Okay, Spider-Man. I don't think anyone's on the fence about it. I think they're pretty much in or out. You know? But I'm enjoying it. I would say it's a decent game.
Okay.
If you have a PS4 buddy that you can split games with and share them, because that's what I did. Me and my friend only paid $30 a piece, and we just split it down the middle.
Yeah.
I would say do that because I think it's a great $30 game. What about you, Ernie? You like it?
Good. Yeah. I might. After we move and stuff, I might grab a PS4 and just play it myself because they have a bunch of them.
Why don't you go pick one of those bad boys up? Just go ahead and drop $400.
Well, you get a used one at GameStop.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, and because
you don't want to get the Pro, huh?
Why? What's the point to having the Pro? You know what? Let's not get into that.
I was like, does the game at least run 60 frames on the PS4 Pro? It does not.
Yeah, it does not.
It is pretty much locked at 30 frames per second from what I hear or from what I read.
But yeah, I might do. It seems like the game I want to bring, and I think a lot of people are going to jump over to the PS4 for that specifically.
You think so?
Yeah, because it's gonna. I'm pretty sure it's gonna come out for the PC later.
See, that's my only problem is that whenever an exclusive comes out, it gets overhyped by the fan base.
Well, yeah,
and I feel like that's exactly what's happening right now.
Maybe I should wait for PC. Then I could just hack it and just be bulletproof.
What do you mean PC?
I don't know. Maybe it'll come out on PC.
I don't think so. I think.
You think it's gonna just remain a Sony exclusive?
Yeah, dude. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Why wouldn't they?
So doesn't Sony own the rights to Spider-Man or some shit?
Yeah.
I think they would keep it.
Well,
but that's just me.
Well, Anyway, definitely, I'm super excited for Daredevil season 3.
Yeah, Iron Fist season 2.
Go watch.
Give it a shot. Maybe watch episode 1. Maybe look at the recap and see if you're interested. But I like Colleen Wing. That's why
That's your girl.
I have to watch it, dude.
That's your girl.
She's so beautiful. She's so wise. Girl. She's so smart.
That's your girl.
She's so powerful. She's great. She helps Danny so much in the season.
He doesn't deserve
her. What are you doing with her? Give her to me. No. They're perfect for each other. What are you talking about? They're superheroes. What else are we talking about? Fuck.
That was basically it.
Completely forgot.
That was
we're going to get to the Mega Man demo.
And we'll do Messenger, because Messenger does look like a lot of fun.
Yeah, AOL Instant Messenger. We'll get to that next week.
That's a good joke, Steve.
Can I give you...
Only 90s kids will get that.
Can I give you a small taste of what that game is before I move on? Before we end this podcast?
I kind of would just rather save it for that one.
The Messenger?
Yeah.
You don't want to hear about it?
I don't want to hear about it because I want to go into it raw.
Everybody Google it. Be ready for next week. I'm going to try and have at least some kind of thoughts on it.
Yeah.
I heard it's a short game, though, so maybe we can beat it before.
Well, it is $20, so yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Cool, man.
Well, that does it for this week, guys. See you next week.
See you next week, guys.